It's Rob from Dowdle Family Farms, and today I'm putting wood chips into my pig pen. I've got a neighbor down the road who helps out at the farm. In fact, I use as much of his equipment as I do mine. And they've had some oak trees that they've thinned out, cut for firewood, and they've got the tops for them that need to be chipped up or hauled away or burned off. So because my tractor and wood chipper are so close, I'm going to chip them up and take them to my new pig pen to form that deep bedding system for my new pigs. I'm using a Woodmaxx MX-9900. For those of you who've watched our channel before, you've seen me use it before. I'm putting them on my John Deere tractor 4044M, and I'm putting them into an IBC tote. So stay tuned and let's see how long this takes. Before I get started too much, let me just say how much of a boneheaded move it is to do wood chipping with shorts on. I wear shorts and Crocs throughout the farm most of the time, but as the wood comes into the hydraulic infeed roller, it'll pull and scrape the limbs along your legs, and it'll create tears and gashes. It's just a really good idea to wear long pants when you're using the wood chipper. If you're interested in purchasing a wood chipper so that you can get free wood chips, just for the record, it's really not a very good idea. One of the biggest problems with wood chippers and wood chips is it takes a world of a lot of material to get any substantial amount of wood chips that you want to use. It's much easier and cheaper to just purchase a truckload of them. In fact, for my new pig pen where I train the pigs through the electric fence, right now I've got 59 pigs in there. It's 4,000 square feet, and I've got 6 bales of hay that I've used. I've also put bags of leaves and wood chips, but I'm actually considering purchasing an 18-wheeler load of sawdust from a lumber mill just because it requires so much carbon when you have this many pigs. Now, obviously, if you don't need this many pigs, it's not worth necessarily purchasing an 18-wheeler load, but nor is it really worth purchasing a wood chipper just to get the free wood chips. The main value for me in having a wood chipper is that when I'm trimming trees off of fence lines, when I'm clearing fence lines, even though I do not chip even the largest of the tree trunks, I've got so much material that's in the way from tree tops and limbs that I can drastically reduce the amount of stuff that I'm leaving on the ground, and so that the piles and piles of shrubs and tree tops and limbs are not in the way. So the obvious question may be to ask now, if just chipping to get free wood chips is not worth having a wood chipper, then why in the world did I drive down the road a mile to my neighbor's house to chip up a bunch of oak limbs and tree tops so that I could get half a yard or so of wood chips? And the reason for that is, hey, it was already cut up. I had to do very, very little processing. That little bit of chainsaw work is all that I had to do. They were already piled up, they were already trimmed and ready to go, and so I could just show up, chip the limbs, and then come back. I've even had tree services offer to bring me tree tops and limbs that I could just chip up myself, but it's really not worth the hassle, because if the tree limbs are not cut a certain way, if they're not stacked a certain way, it can be a hassle just to pull the tree limbs out of the pile. All of these are turned the same way, and it's just so incredibly easy to process this pile, and I had a pretty good idea that it would be. One pleasant surprise that I found when I was chipping these trees up is that the tops of this tree had a lot of green acorns in them, so I'm guessing it was in the neighborhood of 10 to 15, maybe even 20 to 25 pounds of acorns. I didn't measure them, I didn't try to, I just noticed there were a lot of acorns in the tops of the trees. However, the thing that's really interesting is pigs will eat chipped up acorns. They may miss a lot of them. They may eat some extra wood chips or something in an effort to find the chipped up acorns, but they will find some and eat some, and these little piglets were no different. The other pleasant surprise that I found is that this did not take nearly as long for me to chip these tree tops up as I thought. I've got this video sped up at 4 times the speed, but it actually only took me 22 minutes, and that included the 2-minute walk to go get the chainsaw from Rick's garage. So all that to say, in the 20 minutes that it took me to chip up these tree tops and to get the acorns out of them, I was able to chip about half a yard of wood chips in this pile. Had I been able to get a whole yard of them, I could have easily piled them up together and they would have heated up, and the carbon to nitrogen ratio would have been much higher than is normal. They're smaller limbs, lots of leaves, and so there's less trunk material actually being chipped. So all in all, from the time I left the farm to the time I got over here and went back and chipped them all, it was a little bit less than an hour. I got half a yard of wood chips, and then I wound up getting some acorns for feed for the pigs as well. So I'm going to take this load of wood chips out to the farm now. This is where we're starting to get. On the right side is some of the Dowdle farm. We just crossed Cooper Creek, and off to the right over there is one of the pastures along the bottom of the creek. As we start to come up the hill, what's interesting about this spot up the hill is that a lot of times we'll have cars stop and park right here in the middle of the curve, because right over there where the camera looked is where we keep the sows that are having their babies. And a lot of times people will see mama pigs and baby pigs coming around and having a lot of fun. That car, by the way, I did come to a complete stop, but because this video is sped up, it looks like I did not stop and the car was very rude, but neither of those things happened. Now off to the left, what we're driving on is Dowdle Road, and off to the left is some of the cow pasture where we do our grass finished beef. Our cool season pastures are right here to the left that you're looking at, and then as we pass this barn, this is some of our summer pastures on the left as well. Once we get past this farm on the right, we come out to our farm starting there, and that patch of woods that you saw is where the pigs are right now. As we turn into the gate off of Dowdle Road, this is the gravel access road that we call Crawfish Road. It's real bumpy, and you're about to see me bouncing around a lot. Sorry for the shaky camera work, but I did not plan on doing this. The field that you see in front of the camera now, just before we make this turn, is the field that is 10 acres that we're going to put pigs in. In fact, by the time this video is uploaded and published, those pigs on the right are already on the left over there to the field. Stay tuned for a video coming up in the next day or two that shows me moving those pigs across the road. This is the new pig pen, and again, the video work here is going to look like I'm dropping this load of wood chips onto the piglets. It looks that way. It does not happen, and it doesn't come anywhere close to happening. It just looks like it's happening really fast. So now I've just got the camera staring at these pigs, and they're rooting around into the pile, and it's kind of bland just to watch them. But it's kind of funny just to see how interesting they find this new material in the pen. They've had hay in the pen now for several days. They've had leaves dropping in from time to time, but anytime they get new material, whether it be wood chips, whether it be hay, especially bags of leaves, the pigs just love rooting around in the material and finding something to smell, to eat, to chew on. And it's just really part of that inquisitive nature of pigs. Dr. Temple Grandin calls that inquisitive nature of pigs their seeking behavior. And it is really interesting to watch, but to satisfy that inquisitive nature or that seeking behavior, I try to add something new to the pen every day, at least once a day, so that the pigs have something new to explore, to seek, to play with. Sometimes it's 2 or 3 days before I add something new, and sometimes I'll add some new stuff 2 or 3 times a day. But there's no doubt that the pigs really enjoy new stuff to play around in and to watch. So I'm going to keep this material rolling. Feel free to enjoy it. Feel free to watch the pigs playing around. But if this video was interesting to you, if you found the video helpful, if you thought it was fascinating at all, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. Feel free to share it with your friends and let others find it. Take care, and I hope you have a great day.